Hi guys, I'm Cameron. I just read comics. I love them. Welcome back to another episode of Cameron Reads Comics. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about Batman and Robin Year 1 by Mark Waid, Chris Samnee, Mateus Lopez. Just need to start off by saying that this series came out, honestly, a very unfortunate time for its own marketing and branding. DC is just eating Marvel's lunch right now when it comes to monthly books coming out. And it's overwhelming the amount of books, great books that DC has on the racks, to the point of, and I'm obviously I'm a huge comic book guy, I can't afford all of the books coming out, and so it's led to really great series being canceled. I'm looking at you, Green Arrow by Chris Condon. Right now there's 4 great Batman titles going on, and I can't subscribe to all of them. That's too much Batman. So this book kind of flew under the radar, released the same month as Absolute Batman, #1. And so everyone did talk about Absolute Batman, but Mark Waid, Chris Samnee, all-star team of freaking Daredevil, Black Widow, they're an incredible team. This book just has not gotten its due in my eyes. So now it's done, and I think that retroactively DC is going to be sharing it and posting it and being, giving it a really great treatment in trade, as it is now a complete collected story. So this book is by Chris Samnee and Mark Waid. It tells the story of a young Batman and his first year with Dick Grayson as Robin, and what their relationship looks like, the team dynamics that this book looks like. I think it's more of a Dick and Bruce book as opposed to a Batman and Robin book, and I mean that in the best possible way, in a very rare way, because it's them figuring out how they're gonna be freaking partners. Batman works alone. How does that work together? What's he gonna do with this freaking crazy kid? What kind of dynamics and shenanigans are they gonna get into as they're discovering how they need to interact as partners? One of my favorite comic book content creators, Sal Crivelli with Comic Pop, he described it really well, and I think a book like this comes out of Batman Superman World's Finest. I don't know if Mark Waid really loves writing Batman, even though I think he's so good at it. I don't think he has cracked the code personally on how he wants to tell a Batman story, and so through World's Finest and through a book like this, he finds out how to write Batman through the voice of Dick Grayson. I really love that POV, because the characters and the relationships are really what are driving this story, and tonally it is just pitch perfect. I love to see it. It makes it just a fun book. As much as it is a good quality story, it's a fun read. All the dominoes fall into place when your character voices are so thorough and clear and concise, and that's what's going on in this story. So for what the contents is actually about, obviously it takes place over a year, Batman and Robin figuring out how they're going to work together, but it also, there's 2 major villains. It's going to be Clayface and one more, the person who hired him, and it's kind of going through the gang scene in Gotham. It's Clayface hatching a plan to destroy Gotham, and eventually by the end of the book, and Batman and Robin are gonna save them. I think all of that, the big action points, are secondary to all the character stuff that happens, and I just think that this is a necessary read. For the art, okay, Chris Samnee is meant for a book like this. He's an incredible artist. Go read his Black Widow. Black Widow #1 is one of my favorite books of all time. I think it's a perfect comic book. And specifically for Chris, he did one of my favorite things of all time from 2018 to 2024, which was called Battober, and he'd give himself a prompt for all 31 days of October, and he would draw a Batman themed prompt to that. It is my favorite flipping thing in the world. He would eventually sell them. I never got one because I'm poor, but he just was drawing some of the most tonally pitch perfect Batman. Samnee doesn't use too many lines. He doesn't do crazy cross hatching. He literally, it's just such a very polished art style, and his his Batman is incredible tonally. The way he takes up space, the way he uses light, the way he uses the cape. Incredible. This book, like finding out he was on this book, is automatically, yep, I'm getting it. He also just draws an incredible Dick Grayson Robin. I just love it. I love this book so much. You know, the story is good and the character dynamics is good, and obviously Mark Waid is the love of my life, so I'm not going to say that, I'm not going to take anything away from the story, but if you need like some sort of convincing to read this book, pick it up for the art. I mean, it is a masterclass on a Batman story. Chris Samnee being on this book is honestly more important to me than Mark Waid being on this book, and Mark Waid is my favorite writer. So please do yourself a favor, do me a favor, go pick it up. Especially like their previews for the first issue. I think the first issue of this series is, again, perfect. And then I just finished the series. The last issue I thought was really good, especially the last couple of panels and sequences. You can just tell that Chris Samnee is having a ball while he's doing it. Look no further than these two, than this creative team, because they're one of the best creative teams in comics, and I love Chris Samnee's art. So now, how do I feel about it? I'm sure you guys are surprised to find out that I absolutely loved it. It was an incredible book. For my rating, I'm going to give it an 8.7 out of 10. It's a necessary Batman reading. Add it to the list of really great Batman books, and it's also just a fun comic. It's not too dark and gloomy, which honestly, thank you. I don't need that. If you want a dark and gloomy Batman book, go read Batman Dark Patterns by Hayden Christensen, no. By Hayden Sherman and Dan Waters, which review will be coming up shortly for that as well. But for this one, it was just an incredible Batman book. So yeah, go pick it up. My name's Cameron. I don't just read comics. I love them. I'll see you guys next time.